What's up, guys? Today we're going to be talking about The Compound Effect. It's a book by Darren Hardy. It's a very short, thin book, and I love it. This is a man who went through tough times. He was poor, and he tried all this stuff. He went to all the seminars, all the get rich lectures, and it wasn't working out for him. And then he finally met this guy who was making a lot of money, millions. And he tried to follow this guy and copy what this guy did, but things weren't working. A year in, things still weren't working. And he realized that the problem wasn't someone else, it wasn't the environment, it was him. He wasn't doing what this guy was doing. He realized that the habits that this guy had, he wasn't doing. And the only separation was him, his habits, his lifestyle, his mentality, his perspectives. And so this book is really his summation, his advice on how he became worth millions upon millions of dollars when he finally figured that out and started working on it. Now, it took a long time for him, but now he's worth a lot of money. He's made a lot of money, and he wanted to share that with everyone through this book. And one of his key messages is something called the compound effect, as the name of the book entitles. So what is the compound effect? Basically, he describes it as a very small marginal change that you add to your lifestyle that is for the better, of course. And the key word is to consistently add this. So I think that's like the key to a lot of things in life. For instance, exercise. How many people think that they can do this for a month or a week and then they'll get a jacked body? But can you consistently keep that for the next 10 years? You know, I was watching, I can't tell you how many fitness videos and trainers and things I've seen on the internet, including a recent video I saw by Terry Crews, who said that the key to his body was consistency. He had been working out since he was 17 years old, and he was like 40 years old at that time. And he said that's the key. It's nothing hard. It's how many people set New Year's resolutions, and then by the first week after New Year's, they're not going to the gym anymore. And so the key is consistency. And what he tells you in this book, one of the key things he tells you is those small changes that if you can add on to them every week or month and consistently keep doing them, these habits, these lifestyle habits will compound over the years out. I'll give you a great example. Me reading a few pages of great books like this every day. You know, if you compare me to the average person on a day-to-day level, is there a huge difference? No, this guy is just doing his own thing, whereas I am reading maybe a couple pages of this inspirational book and using those lessons in real life and applying them consistently. However, if you extend that to one of the greatest factors in terms of physics and science and on, which is time, if you extend that using the power of time, just like compound interest, one of the most amazing mathematical things in existence, but back to the point, if you extend that on for the next 10, 20, 50 years, these few pages turn into thousands upon thousands of pages of useful information from very successful people that have now compounded, given the blessed chance that I don't get hit by a car or some unfortunate accident happens where I leave prematurely, they can compound into massive amounts of knowledge difference or difference in your body, your health, on a long scale platform. So how can you start implementing this? The book doesn't really talk about this, but I've heard this from fitness experts and a lot of different people. I picked it up myself. I call it baby stepping, and in the name you can kind of start figuring out how it works. If you're setting too large goals that are just out there, Will Smith describes it as don't set yourself out to build this massive wall, this amazing Great Wall of China. Set yourself out to lay down the first brick. It's very eerie how I'm just connecting all this stuff. There's this dating coach, and he says something similar. Like, you want to don't freak yourself out and start thinking about making out with the girl and cuddling with the girl and kissing her and then proceeding to the bedroom, because all that stuff will freak you out, especially if you're a beginner. Even if you're like decent at this, like, just start, don't freak yourself out. Start with the first step, which is, just going up and talking to her, and concentrate on that. And then just look at the step in front of you rather than the huge mountain that you're trying to climb. And that will prevent you from psyching yourself out. And so just think about that brick, as Will Smith describes it. Lay that brick as perfectly as you can, and just focus on that tiny brick. Focus is key. Bill Gates and Warren Buffett and a lot of other people, including Will Smith, says that focus is probably like the most important thing you can do, because if you spread yourself too thin, you can never achieve massive amounts of success as you can if you focus on a single task. So I'm getting off track here. The point being, baby step it. So just take small goals rather than trying to do everything at once, because you cannot form successful habits by going too far too ham. What happens when you do that? You binge, or you overexert yourself, you tire yourself out, and then you just quit, or you don't do anything for the next 2 weeks because you're so exhausted. And each time you think of it, you get these memories of these how horrible it was, and how it was just too much for you the last time you did it. I'll give you a great example. I used to go to the gym, and I would work out for 2 hours, 3 hours at a time in the gym room. I would go there expecting to spend maybe an hour, and I just thought it would be better if I could just keep pushing myself. And at first I thought it was a great thing that I ended up staying for 3 hours working out. Turns out each time afterwards, I would not go to the gym again for the next 2 weeks. The reason being, again, it was just too much. I set myself too high. I set the bar too high, and I could not keep it consistent with that amount of overtraining. So instead, what I do is I set the bar much lower on a manageable level. And if I have to choose between two, a little bit extra or a little bit less, based off my personality and knowing that I tend to over-chew things, you may have to readjust based off how you are as a person and really assess how you are. But I ended up deciding, okay, I'm going to set baby steps. So that's what I'm starting to implement now. I would tell myself, I want to do 15 minutes of aerobic exercise, which is pretty much like cardio, running, jogging, treadmill, whatever else, and consistent cardio at least every other day. So that's not a horrendously high goal, but it's something I can potentially consistently do. Turns out I started doing that. It was working for a while, but then very quickly it was a little bit too much. It was more than a little bit too much. And I started getting really tired, bored, a little bit exhausted, and it was just like too much coming from not working out at all. And so it was tough for me to do, but I allowed myself to lower the bar to 10 minutes rather than 15 minutes. And that really helped me out because I wasn't exceptionally exhausted, and I was able to keep it consistent. So the next day or the next day or the next week, the next day when I went to the gym, I was not exhausted or just so frightened of going, because when I looked at my past memories of going, I was not like, I can't do this, it's just too much, it's not fun, it's not interesting, I'm exhausted, the day was tough, because I know I only had to do 10 minutes and that's something I can do. So yeah, there you go. Darren Hardy, compound effect. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Again, this can be applied to whatever goal you want to achieve in your life, whether it's health, whether it's diet or nutrition. Perhaps you can cut out something very, very small, something very, very manageable. I challenge you to do this. Can you cut out one tiny bite of unhealthy food on a daily basis? If not, how about every other day? How about, that one cupcake that you're eating? Can you cut out that one cupcake every day? Let's say you eat 10 cupcakes every day. How about that one cupcake? How about one less scoop of ice cream every day? And I think that is a key. And I'm giving this to you for free. That is a key. It's an amazing key to actually building something in the long term. You guys are screwing yourself over by trying to go from eating McDonald's and 10 scoops of ice cream to nothing but carrot food, rabbit food, vegetables, and trying to eat paleo. It's too much of a jump. And